How do you think we're doing? Am I coping all right as your navigator?
You know, you never tell me to slow down, so that means I was not quick enough.
Oh, Michèle!
Static interferences on a forgotten VHS. An Audi Quattro seemingly defying gravity. The roar of a machine racing into the unknown. Behind the wheel, a woman called Black Volcano. A gaze that petrifies, a soul that burns. She would give emotions, but seemed to feel none herself. There was a time when the name of Michèle Mouton echoed in the world of motorsport. Then it vanished, buried under the dust of history. And finally, it re-emerged, suddenly announced in sensational tones. This woman made history. The real mystery is not what she did. It's that she did it in the 70s and the 80s, in a period of time when no one believed that a woman could dominate the world of rally racing. She wasn't fighting social battles, she just wanted to race, and she did it better than anyone. This is the story of the woman who defied speed.
I need to drive. It's something I cannot explain, really. Kind of freedom, I think so.
In the heart of picturesque grass on the French Riviera, Michèle Mouton was born. She grew up surrounded by the intoxicating scent of roses and jasmine cultivated on her family's estates. On one side, the sea, on the other, the mountains, where the roar of rally cars echoed through the winding roads. The world offered her a future of peace and tradition, but Michèle looked elsewhere. The sound of engines spoke to her more than the comforting voices of her homeland. At 14, she started to drive secretly her father's Citroën. In 1972, Jean Taïbi, a rally driver and friend, or perhaps something more, convinced her to become his co-driver. The following year, she made her first appearance at the legendary Monte Carlo Rally. Taïbi, likely believing he was the only one capable of driving that car, never let Michèle at the wheel. It was Michèle's father who changed the course of her destiny. He didn't forbid her from racing. He didn't impose limits. He saw what others couldn't even imagine. He recognized the potential of a champion in his daughter and bought her an Alpine Renault A110 on one condition. She had 1 year to achieve results and prove her worth, a deal with fate. Her rise began. Michèle took on each race with a mix of recklessness and raw talent, beating experienced drivers and leaving everyone in disbelief. After one particularly tough competition, officials dismantled her car, convinced there were some tricks involved, but they found nothing. Just talent, just pure speed. In 1975, at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, she raced with an all-female crew and won her class.
Quant à l'équipage Marianne Opfner, Michèle Mouton, Christine Tacremont, elle vise la première place en 2 litres avec la Moinet.
There was no longer any doubt. Michèle Mouton was not just an anomaly. She was a threat to the established order. In 1977, she joined Fiat France, no longer needing to finance herself. They gave her the 131 Abarth, a car she initially hated, but eventually tamed with the same ferocity she brought to every challenge. And then, Audi Sport arrived.
Heralds the arrival of a new era in rallying. The age of the supercar has arrived.
In 1980, Audi puts together the sport team with the innovative four-wheel drive. Group B was pure madness, speed beyond control, a fine line between bravery and insanity. And within that inferno, alongside female co-driver Fabrizia Pons, Michèle found her home. Criticized, scrutinized, treated as an experiment in a man's world. But while others doubted, she and Fabrizia flew. 1981 was the turning point. They arrived at the Sanremo rally with promising results behind them, but no one believed that they could win. World champion Ari Vatanen declared, "It's impossible for me to lose against a woman." Then he crashed and Michèle won. For the first time in history, an all-female team claimed victory in a World Rally Championship event. By 1982, her legend grew even larger. She won 4 rounds of the World Championship and the title seemed within reach. But fate, being cruel and unpredictable, had other plans. To defeat Walter Roll's Opel, Michèle and Audi had to compete in the grueling Ivory Coast Rally. On the day of her departure, Michèle's father passed away. Michèle, devastated, wanted to withdraw, but her mother convinced her to continue. She immersed herself into the race, initially dominating, until the car gave out. Then she crashed, and 4 more miles after, driven with a wrecked car, she retired. The title slipped away, shrouded in the haunting echoes of what might have been.
It's okay.
It must be about a half an hour, I think, for you.
Yeah.
In 1985, Michèle Mouton arrived at Pikes Peak, the most dangerous open road race in the world.
How do you feel as the start time approaches?
I don't feel at all. The only problem we have now is just to try to make no mistake from the start to the top, you know. This is the only problem I have. Try to be perfect.
She barely knew the track, but that didn't matter. She dominated the race, setting a new record. Bobby Unser, a member of the legendary Unser family, publicly complained. Michèle's response to him was brutal. If you have the balls, you can try to race me back down as well. But Group B was spiraling into chaos. In 1986, at the Tour de Corse, Henri Toivonen lost his life in a horrific crash.
Mouton, au lendemain de ces journées dures pour tout le monde, c'est toujours l'éternelle question, est-ce que ça vaut le coup?
Bien sûr que ça vaut le coup, parce que sinon on ne serait pas tous là. Je crois que on est conscient de des risques que l'on prend, se mesurer avec soi-même, aller plus loin, toujours plus loin, dans le progrès, dans la limite et jouer avec cette limite. Et je crois que ça vaut toujours le coup de continuer, c'est sûr.
Michèle knew that from that point on, rally racing was no longer going to be the same. It was then that she walked away, almost in silence, leaving behind the world she had made her and that she had made hers. Today, Michèle Mouton works in the field of safety and to bring more women into the discipline she once dominated. But her name remains one of an enigmatic legend. Watching her in those years is witnessing something pure, something unrepeatable. That sound, those jumps, that speed. She was in her natural habitat, free, unstoppable, there with no shortcuts and no mercy. Pedal to the metal, put your hearts up for Her Majesty of maximum speed.